Yo, what up? So we'll go through a little process of how I completed this project. So what I started with was garage door remote opener, and it kind of annoyed me to carry this in my pocket. I never felt like I wanted to just leave it in my car. I mean, some people do that and don't care, but it's not something I want to do. So I'd always leave this in my pocket, and it's just like an annoying another thing to have in your pocket. So what I did was I took this apart, a different one of these obviously. I took it apart, I wired it to power in the car, and then I put a switch behind the knockout, and I just kind of hardwired a garage door opener remote. So I'll go through the steps of how I did that, show you the final product, and I made a little diagram as well. But you know, hope this helps somebody. There wasn't much information when I was looking, so you know, I thought, let me make a video. Okay, so here's the remote for my Liftmaster garage door opener. The first thing you do is just open it up, take the circuit board out. You'll see there's like a battery in there, the switches, the board, not much going on. So I took it out and I have it right here, and I'm on the first step where I desoldered the battery connector for the coin cell, and I've wired in a step down converter which takes 12 volt and turns it to 3 volt. 3 volts what the coin cell battery had. So that's my first step. You can see you know, right here and right here are the 2 points that I soldered on, the positive and negative, positive, negative, and I took the rest of the, you can see some of the empty holes or where the parts of the connectors were, and I just kind of kept what I needed on there because it's 2 wires, and there was 3, or what is that? Yeah, 3 solder points on the positive, 2 on the negative. So this is the first step that I got to so far, and I'll keep you updated. Alright, so now I'm just wiring up the power and ground for step down converter. I've got this little ring guy I had already attached to a wire that was on my box of shit, so I'm going to use this and connect it to the ground for the incoming 12 volt, and then I'm going to do a fuse tap on the other side. I'll show you that when I get to it. Alright, so this is where I'm at so far. I've got the remote, power and ground going to the step down converter, and then that going to a tap a fuse with a ground with the ring joint. And I put a little extra wire on the end of this because I think I'm going to stick it behind the head unit. I might regret that because it'll be hard to get to in the future, but I don't really feel comfortable leaving it anywhere else. So that's what I'm going to try for now. If I got to cut this down more or zip tie the extra wires, probably not a bad thing. Alright, so I got the positive going into the number 35 cigarette lighter fuse, and I grounded this metal guy back here. So let's put the key in, and this is the button I gotta press. Let's hope I don't short some shit out in the process. Kind of get that. It's easy to press without hitting other shit. Okay, so alrighty. The car goes up in smoke. You've seen it first. So this works. Close it. And if you're wondering why I messed with the power before I had a switch connected, it's because in my opinion the switch is going to be the easier thing. The power I kind of have more questions on, so I just plan on wiring a switch. Alright, so here's a little update. I desoldered the tack switch SW4 right there, which is the button that open closed my garage. I soldered that off, and I hooked up a where's the other side of this? Can't really see. Hooked up a connector like this, and I soldered these wires to the board. So this side of the connector is going to go to the wire that goes to the switch, so that way if I need to pull this out of the car, I don't need to pull all the wire that goes to the switch, because I'm going to put the switch in the knockout panel, which I said before, so I don't want to have to pull all the wires out if I ever need to mess with this again in the future. So I'll keep you updated. Alright, so we got the switch wired in, connected back to power, and ground. And let's check the switch. This is the button that I want to put behind the knockout, but I haven't put it in there yet, just for testing purposes. It works. All right, so before I wrap everything up, I'll give you a quick run through of the final product. So we've got the circuit board out of the Liftmaster casing, and like I stated before, I removed the battery contacts, positives and negatives. The negative runs into the step-down converter, positive runs to step-down converter. That goes to a ring terminal for the ground, which grounded to metal in the car. And this goes into the fuse box. It's called a Tapa fuse. It's got the 5 amp for the garage door opener, 15 amp for the circuit that it came out of. And then I pulled that SW4, which is contact switch, out, and I made a wire that leads to a connector. And that connector looks like that, and it has a switch at the end of it. All right, so here's the finished product. Let's see if this works. Success.